Okay, for Form 3 students, English class, so we will start a new chapter, Chapter 5, and it talks about the food and humans. So this is a very important topic relevant to us, relevant to your everyday life. So some of you may ask me, Mr. Fong, how do we get a slim body? How do we lose weight? So weight loss diet provides too little diet and it causes some health problems. So how are we really sure what kind of food, what kind of energy we need for the daily life, and what kind of health problems may arise if we don't have? So if we take in too little energy, some health problems. So teenagers are in a rapid development stage. What are the dietary requirements for them? What is required in their food? So who need to lose weight? Don't tell me every girl needs to lose weight. It is not correct. Only some people need to lose weight. And what is the correct way to lose weight? So we have some plants here. We have the name. It's called auto. Auto, that means that by itself, autotrophic nutrition. Plants produce organic nutrients by itself by photosynthesis. So let's draw something. This kind of nutrition mode, we call them autotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition. And for plants, this kind of organisms, this kind of living things, we call them autotroph. Okay. So for the word auto, A-U-T-O, that means by itself. Okay, next part. Some human, we eat the plant, we eat the fish. So human has to obtain organic nutrients from other organisms. So we call them this mode of nutrition. We call them heterotrophic nutrition. And human is called heterotroph. What does it mean by hetero? H-E-T-E-R-O. That means from others. It's different. We don't eat. We don't produce nutrients by ourselves. So we have to obtain nutrients from other organisms. This is what hetero means. Heterotrophic nutrition. For trophic, that means is the nutrition mode. Nutrition. Heterotroph. So what is the importance of food to us? Tell me 3 importance why you have to eat food every day. What does food help us? So first of all, importance of food. Number 1, it provides energy for our body activity. Like we're swimming, we're running, even you're sleeping, your heart is beating. So you need energy for everything. And you also need energy to keep warm. So it's the raw materials for growth and repair from an infant, from a child to a grown up, to a mature person. Then you need lots of materials for growth and for repair. The worn out tissue. Also, maybe you have heard of vitamin C. Vitamin C 係一種營養素嚟嘅。So vitamin C is to it can maintain health. So I guess you wonder how vitamin C or some supplements like calcium, how do they help us? 嗰啲我哋食補充品，可能食鈣啊、食魚肝油丸啊，點樣保持身體健康呢？ How does it help us to maintain health? So there are 7 main types of food substance, 7 types. So first of all is the carbohydrates. Today we will mainly talk about carbohydrates, 碳水化合物. And there are 7 other food substances. For example, the lipid, the protein, carbohydrate, lipid, and protein, they provide energy. Okay? So for those food substance that does not provide energy, we have mineral, we have vitamins, we have dietary fibers, and water. Okay, water. So altogether, there are 7 types of food substances, and we will go through their structures and functions one by one. How does it look like? How does it help us? Each of them. So carbohydrates are made of these atoms: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. From the Chinese word 碳水化合物, 碳水. From the English, there's carbo and hydrates. 碳水化合物, so it's composed of carbon and water. Carbo and hydrates means water. Water, what is the chemical formula for water? Hydrates means water. It's H2O. So as we have H2O, so always carbohydrates have the ratio of H2O is 2 to 1, and combined with some carbon atoms. 當碳黐埋落水度就係碳水化合物啦。So we have 3 types. This picture will be very important to summarize my topics today. So the left-hand side is a red word is categories. You have to learn the red words, every single word. And examples, you just remember 1 or 2. So the first type is monosaccharides. Second type is disaccharide. And third type is polysaccharide. Let's learn the word first. Mono means single. Mono means single. Di means double. Double sugar. You see double, 2 sugar molecule here from 2 single sugar. And poly means many, multiple sugar sticking together. Okay, for the later word saccharide, that means sugar. Single sugar, double sugar, and multiple sugar. So we have some example. Glucose is a type of monosaccharide, single sugar, 單糖。And sucrose, 蔗糖，你平時食啲砂糖咧就係雙糖嚟㗎啦。Sucrose is the table sugar that you have. And for starch is an example of polysaccharide. How do they link up? So we will study. So for monosaccharide is the single sugar. It is the smallest and simplest structure. Smallest 係最細粒嘅，最簡單嘅。So it tastes sweet. It is soluble in water. So when you put it into your mouth, you will taste, oh, it's sweet. It's like that. So monosaccharide is single sugar, so taste sweet and soluble in water. So we have some example here. Oops. So glucose, 葡萄糖。Glucose. For fructose, it is 果糖. Fructose is 果糖. And galactose. Galactose in Chinese is 半乳糖. So the structure of glucose molecule is H is 12 and O is 6. So the chemical formula if you want to know just an extra information, is C6, H12, and O6. So you see that for as we say carbohydrates 碳水化合物係有水嘅。So we have water here. So the H2O ratio is 2:1. Food with lots of glucose is honey and fruit. Food with lots of fructose. This page is different from the above. Is glucose and fructose. They are both honey and fruit. Okay, so food with lots of galactose, we have some 半乳糖。半乳糖就係一啲奶類製品啦，奶同奶類製品。So we have milk as food with lots of galactose. All single sugar are reducing sugar. So what do? They in the food test we include in later part of this chapter, we say that all reducing sugar would produce brick red precipitate in Benedict's test. So what is Benedict's test? What is reducing sugar? So reducing sugar, that means the X is a reducing sugar. It will lose electron. So, but this is a more difficult part, so I will not go through in details. So when reducing sugar lose electron, they are the reducing agent. 還原劑. So in Benedict's test, the reducing sugar would produce brick red precipitate. Okay, the second part is disaccharide. Disaccharide means that combining two single sugar together by enzyme. Okay, so you see that single sugar with single sugar, two separate ones. And H2O is removed, so we combine together, they formed disaccharide at the bottom. Disaccharide at the bottom. Okay. So H2O helps with H2O, so it breaks the disaccharide into two single sugar. 一個雙糖加翻水咧，用水解嘅方法就可以拆翻開去啦。By hydrolysis. And please pay attention to the spelling here. Saccharide. Saccharide. SACCHARDE. So you see that I want to use this diagram to show that disaccharide means double sugar, two sugar together. They are formed from one sugar. Double sugar, by condensation. So they taste sweet, they are soluble in water. They example maltose and lactose. Maltose and lactose both are reducing sugar. Well, however, sucrose is not reducing sugar. Sucrose is not reducing sugar. Okay? For maltose, that means two glucose molecules sticking together. They are from germinating barley. 萌發中嘅大麥. This is what we call maltose. For sucrose, they are the glucose with fructose. 平時食嘅蔗糖、砂糖 So the table sugar we have is the sucrose. They are formed from glucose plus fructose. They are from the sugar cane 甘蔗出嚟嘅。The third one 乳糖，乳糖 is lactose. Lactose it means from milk. They are sticking glucose and galactose together. So polysaccharide is the chain-like carbohydrates. They are formed from many single sugar. And they don't taste sweet. They are not soluble in water. They are not soluble in water. Okay, chain-like carbohydrates. 好似一條鏈咁樣嘅 chain-like. Okay. So which one is polysaccharide? Poly means multiple. As I mentioned, poly means multiple sugar. They are formed from 1, 2, not just these little, but many, like 50 to 100 or 200 single sugar. Okay, how do they form? How are they formed together? They are formed by condensation. Condensing many single sugar together, then this is condensation to form polysaccharides. To form polysaccharides, we need condensation. 縮合由葡萄糖形成澱粉. So we have some examples. I will explain one by one. Starch, glycogen, and cellulose. Polysaccharides are formed by glucose molecules with different linkage. For example, we have starch as one, glycogen, and cellulose, 3 polysaccharides. All are not reducing sugar. So the first one, starch, as you have heard of before, starch is stored at carbohydrates as starch in plants. So it's the major storage way. 因為佢唔溶於水啦 because it's insoluble, so that it will not affect the water potential in plant cells. So plant cell can remain holding lots of water, and the enzyme could work because starch is a good insoluble form of carbohydrates. So we have food with lots of starch, for example, potato, rice, and cereal. Glycogen, animal stores carbohydrates as glycogen. For example, human stored as glycogen. And third part, cellulose. Cellulose is the major component of plant cell wall. So glucose, they are broken down by respiration to give energy. There are 3 functions of carbohydrates. For example, they provide a major source of energy for our body. Glucose is broken down. Like you see, we break down the polysaccharide. 我哋將多糖、雙糖拆開佢。We break down polysaccharide, disaccharide to form monosaccharide. What is the monosaccharide for? 葡萄糖有咩用咧？單糖有咩用咧？ They give energy by respiration. Okay, so the second part is the glycogen. They are stored in liver and muscle as energy reserves. And cellulose is the major source of dietary fibers. So why do your parents or why do Mr. Fong ask you to eat more vegetables in the food? 點解譬如屋企人會叫你食多啲菜咧？原來菜呢啲植物嘅細胞咧有好多嘅食用纖維。食用纖維咧就係纖維素就可以提供到，即係食用纖就可以幫到我哋嘅腸臟蠕動啦。So it helps with the movement of our intestine. So this is the last part of the lesson today. Please ask me any questions. Feel free to ask me. And remember to do the homework